Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to European Race Night Division 2, and we are here on the streets of Hanoi, Vietnam, and I am very much looking forward to this. It's a very hard track. This is a new track that was meant to be in the 2020 calendar, but unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, we never got to see it, and it won't be in the next game, which I think many people will be certainly happy about. A low traction zone track list with many corners, sector 3 being the toughest, the 2 roundabouts with low traction zones also, but one huge long straight for the DRS to come into play for some really good overtaking into that tight hairpin zone. But anyway guys, that's enough about this track. We're here for Division 2. My name's Dame Zero, your lead commentator, and alongside me, Mr. ERN Massey. How are we doing, Massey?
Hi Dame, hi guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Hate driving it, it's going to be entertaining to watch it. Easily one of the worst tracks on the calendar for me.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like we discussed last week in Bahrain, Massey, we were talking about these two tracks. Oh, and there goes Jezza! The first spin of the day in the Williams, the first man who was out on track, has spun it in the roundabout. I talked about how they were low traction zones, that roundabout, and he's got wing damage there, so he will instantly have to box. So our first spinner of the day in this low traction zone track.
Yeah, you've got to avoid that curb on the inside. I mean, if you can sort of half cut it, it's not too bad, but if you just get your front wheel on that curb, you ain't saving that. There's so many corners like that on this track where you hit that curb wrong with your front left and good night, Tom.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, we talked about this last week, as I was going to say. We talked about last week with probably the worst corners in the calendar. You said Bahrain, the double left-hander, going into the DRS zone, and I said the hairpin at the end of the DRS zone here, because that curb is so big on the exit of it. If you just get the slightest bit of your wheel, especially if you're running medium or no traction, which most of these guys are, it's really going to unsettle the car hugely and maybe even cause a spin most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. It lines you up. If you get the bad exit, it then lines someone behind you to get the run on you into that tricky 90-degree right, and then you're stuck behind them for the rest of the lap before the next DRS zone. So it can really ruin your race strategy almost.
Yep, it's certainly can, as Dino is the first man out there, and he's getting a little bit of a tow using Ramos to his advantage there, as he will set a purple sector 1 due to him being the first man out on track. His teammate spinning in this corner. He's trying to keep as much power as he possibly can, understeer central in these roundabouts. It's seriously, the car just does not like to stick and take the lines that you try and make it take. It just doesn't like it. But here we go down the straight into the DRS zone. It's looking like a nice tidy lap at the minute. You just want to get that banker in on these certain tracks, because those bankers can certainly come into play, as there are a few places where you can spin it and invalidate it. This one being one of them, making sure that he stays off that curb, because that curb is seriously going to unsettle the car as he storms into sector 3. Let's see how he deals with sector 3. Quite a few nasty corners. He gets on that curb, and there he goes. We talked about the low traction zones, and I'm going to keep on mentioning it. That's how this track can bite, and we're certainly going to see some more spins during this qualifying session.
Oh, it's so easy. It's one of those tracks where there isn't a single corner where it doesn't bite. Every single corner on this track there's the potential to find the wall.
Yeah, certainly. I'm just trying to find out who will be our next man. Dino still sets a time, actually. He still went for that time and got a 39 dead. So maybe, like we say, just getting that banker lap in. But we certainly expect more from him. There's Brent with a 34.7. So we can certainly see the difference. I'm not too sure why Dino stayed out. He had wing damage. Could have easily came in, changed the softs over, and get another lap going, as Shoof has apparently invalidated this lap. That he's only just started, so Cody's either messing up or he's genuinely done something on the last corner.
Potentially what Dean could have done is completely missed the pits. I'm not going to lie, I haven't raced this track much before I started practicing it, and I didn't know where the pits were to begin with. I completely missed them. So potentially he's not done much practice and just missed the pit entry.
Yeah, definitely. So Storm there setting a 33 33.7, our first 33 of the day set by Storm. Steve coming in with 34 dead also. And Christoph coming in with a 34.6. Times are going to start coming in now very quickly as most of the guys are now come back. Next is NRC Island. Island goes third with a 34.2. Here comes Skeefy. Skeefy with a 34 dead. Very nice lap time there. The next car coming across the line is going to be the other McLaren of AMG Reckless. I think he's only just started his first one, so he won't be counting. But there's Mike in the AlphaTauri with a 33.8, 1/10 now off Storm. So the lap times we're going to see could come down at the end to the low 33s. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. M2 comes across line, does a 35.3 on that run, and the times now starting to come in now, Massey.
Yeah, it's a really solid banker from Storm and Mike there, straight into the 33s, so they're going to be looking to get mid to low 33s by the end of this, I think, and it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys can sneak into those 32s, which I'm fairly confident we could see a couple of guys do from here. But one thing that will be interesting to see is, because we've seen Dino in qualifying so far pull out some great laps, but then he's not had the luck, or he's lost it in the race, so hopefully he can have a little bit of a cleaner cleaner race.
Here comes Elite. Where he goes straight to the top. Does Elite a 33.4, now 3/10 the gap between first and second here. So Elite really showing to really coming alive here now, as he always does in the qualifying sessions.
Yeah, as they call Mr. Russell, he is Mr. Saturday. Of course, he didn't win in Australia, and he edged out the win in Bahrain by, was it 14 hundredths of a second, thanks to a penalty. So yeah, he'll be looking for an easier ride today, I think.
Certainly so, as I've just got AMG Reckless about to come around the final corner in the McLaren. Now let's see what he's going to do here. He goes 10th with a 35.1. Cycle Swish went 9th with a 35.1, all on the mediums, in fact. So maybe trying to look to do an alternate strategy here today, which will be interesting to see. Jezza is now coming around the final corner. Let's see what he's going to do. Spun it on the outlap. He hasn't spun it this time, though, and he goes 13th with a 35.7 also. So the signs now coming in to effect here.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what Jezza does with his next lap, because 35.7, I know he's been struggling with this track, but he's been having some good race results, or at least some good race pace, and getting himself up there. With a bit of luck, he'll be hoping to get back in the points.
Yep, certainly so. I think the only person at this moment in time on a lap, apart from BCT Legends, who's just started it, is ABR Boots. Boots, a former Division 1 driver, set a purple Sector 1 here. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. We've seen some fantastic racing from Boots within Division 2 so far already, with some fantastic drives, Australia being one of them. Massey, as you may remember, when we had that amazing race in Australia for Division 2.
Yeah, the race where nobody wanted to win, it seemed. Yeah, that was an incredible drive from Boots in Australia. I'm just looking at Psycho Swish in the mediums, the only person to try it. I'm just wondering if maybe he'll go out on the softs, because to be in the middle of the pack into arguably one of the more difficult turn ones to start at is maybe not where he's going to want to start.
Yep, it's certainly so, as I've just got Boots now coming through Sector 3. Let's see how he deals with Sector 3, gets on the back on the power there, stays in 5th, touches that curb. You got to be careful there. You can cut that one, but it can unsettle the car very, very much. And here we go into the second to last corner, gets it nicely turned there, gets into 2nd, then up into 5th, stays in 5th, touches the wall. That may cost him a bit of time, but he does a 33.76, 1/1000th of a second off Storm. And maybe if he just didn't touch that wall, he would have beaten Storm there on that first lap.
Yeah, it was going to be close. I think he was nailed on for at least P2 there until he clipped that wall.
Ooh. I've just went on board with BCT Legends. He's just setting a lap now. Have got very unsettled into the third to last corner. Going to come across the line and go 7th. So the car was very unsettled, and he still managed to put it in P7 on his first run. So it'll be interesting to see what these boys who are making little mistakes on this low traction zone track, what they are able to do.
Yeah, it's going to give them more confidence, because they know now that they can get a low 34 with a mistake, so they'll be pretty confident with getting into the 33s themselves.
Yeah, definitely so. Dino is another man now on the lap. We saw him just have a moment in Sector 3, and he's about to head to Sector 3 right now in the Williams, currently with a 39 dead after that moment with wing damage, and there's still like you say, though, could have missed the pit, so we never know what's going to happen there. He's apparently 500ths down on his time. So this would be another 39, so unless he's made another mistake, but he seems like he's absolutely gunning for it here. So going to be interesting to see what he actually sets. He's now coming into the third to last corner. The car isn't unsettled there, into the second to last corner, now gets it down into second, tries to get the rotation up to third for the traction zone. Into the final corner, into fourth, up into fifth. DRS enable, comes across the line, goes with a 33.9 and goes into fifth place. So let's see how that is going to affect some of the pack here. Storm is currently out there on a lap. So is Speedy. Ramos just started his. Anthem has also just started his flying lap. Brent's about to come around the final corner now. He's in 11th with a 34.7. He puts himself 7th with a 34 dead. Another nice lap there coming in. Christoph has also just started his flying lap. I think the next person we're going to have is ERN Storm, and he is up on his time by 0.2 of a second, heading into the S's in Sector 3. He's here to rival Elite this week, and that's going to be interesting to see if he can do it. Let's see how he set. Oh, goes a bit wide, and that's an invalidation. Took the wrong gear, took a bit too much curb on the inside line, and it just sent the car off and understeering away, and that is a big shame for him, and that looked like a very nice run indeed.
Yeah, I've just been watching Speedy. He would look like he was on a half-decent lap as well, but he's just lost it coming out this penultimate corner. Got his back end out, so that's cost him a few tenths. He's just got done another 134.6 to go 12th.
Yeah, definitely so. I'm just currently on board with Anthem, who's apparently set a purple Sector 2 as he comes into the tricky section where it's pretty much flat out for most of it with a lot of gear changes. Let's see what he does here. Into the second to last corner. Remember, we talked about the low traction zones. It's going to be difficult for some drivers to handle it. Into the final corner, a really difficult corner here. It really throws you off. And Anthem does a 34.2. It really throws you off that final corner because you can see where you can put your car, but the wall sticks out a little bit more than it actually does further around the corner. So it can really unsettle your steering line.
Yeah, it draws you in. You want to turn in earlier to get the line, but of course there's a wall right on the apex. So you've got to, it's one of those corners where you've just got to time your turn in absolutely perfectly, otherwise you're going to be ping-ponging to the finish line.
Ski Feet goes 33.7, goes into second place. I know Shoof was just about to come and set a lap time. Shoof goes second now with a 33.6, so he splits. Puts himself into P2. CC Rose goes into 16th with a 34.7. Ramos into 14th with a 34.6 also. Anthem went with a 34.2 and Island with a 34.2 also. The grid looking very, very tight here today here in Hanoi.
Steve's just done a 133.6 to put his Haas into third. Like you said, even just from first down to 10th. There's 7 tenths, and if you look at just second down to even 8th, there's 3 tenths of a second separating Shoof and Dino, and that's 6 places. It's just, we've said it every time there's been a race and qualifying. This grid is one of the closest divisions I've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%. As I'm just currently on board with Mike, the only person out there currently on a hot lap, as Boots has just started his. Mike is currently coming down the straight here and apparently set a purple Sector 1. So it'll be interesting to see if he does a 2 also. But we know how this game likes to lie to us. But let's see how he deals with this tight hairpin corner. Gets the rotation really nice there. Looking like the car sliding a little bit there as it come out, as he just eases the throttle out of that exit. And it's a purple Sector 2. He's 4 tenths up on his time, which will put him on provisional pole by the looks of it. If he stays like this, let's see how he deals with the S. Is it down into 6th of that corner, and then I imagine down into 5th? Yes, he does. Down into 5th, runs it wide over the curb. You can take a little bit, can unsettle the car, as we said. Into the second to last corner, already ran out of ERS, so he's not saving any on these laps. Another one that could be tricked, although takes that penultimate corner absolutely perfectly and puts the 33 dead at his provisional pole time. 4 tenths quicker than Elite.
That's going to wake Elite up.
Wow. What a lap that was.
There was some talk about Elite's pace before this, but Mike's just gone, you know what? There ain't just one fast guy here.
Definitely not. Boots is about to come around the penultimate corner. Now let's see how he deals. Currently 7th with a 33.7. He puts himself second with a 33-1. Times are tumbling. Could we see a 32 here today?
Well, as those times have just come in, I've just seen Elite's purple triangle appear in the pit lane. He is awoken.
He is awoken and he is coming. BCT Legends currently coming around the second to last corner into the final corner. Now let's see how he deals with it. A lot of drivers just getting put off by that final corner, and he goes third with a 33-2. So the top spaces are all up for grabs right now as everybody just starts their outlaps. Storm and Skeefy will certainly be looking at this now.
Yeah, it was all looking good to begin with for Red Bull and the AlphaTauri, and all of a sudden the times have just started to tumble in as the track comes towards them, and I'm still thinking we could see someone dip into those 32s now.
Yeah, I've also just discovered something, Massey. So, on something that I've never used before, and I've just realised I can use it. Nope, that's my game being glitched. I thought Mike just got provisional pole again. Dino currently out there on the lap, but I just worked out. So you know on your sim dashboards that people get, because I've got one from a wheel. I imagine a lot of people do out there also who race wheel or even pad. I've just realised I can get the whole lobby timing screen up on my phone.
Oh my god, that's going to be so helpful.
Like, I can see where every single person is on track right now.
I'll start calling you Ted with all your stats and your facts.
I don't know how I've done that, but I'm not going to complain because that just makes my job a lot easier. Anyway.
I'll start doing Dame's notebook after the race.
Oh god, no. As Mike is retired in the pit, so he won't be going for another lap. Reckless is currently in the S's in Sector 3, down into 5th and up into 6th. And in fact, no, stays in 5th. Takes a bit too much of the curve and unsettles the car. So Williams is about to come around the final corner, maybe just starting his final lap. Haas is also coming around the final corner, maybe starting his final lap. I think that is of Ramos. Yes, it is. Here comes Reckless around the final corner, and he goes 14th with a 34.5. I think there's a Ferrari next, and that is of M2. He's about to start his final lap. Psycho Swish is in the second to last corner. He's down in 19th with a 35.1. Can he improve on his time? Gets that final
quick.
corner. Really nice. And Psycho Swish goes fifth with a 33.5. And Renault's now about to come across the line. That was of Brent just starting his flying lap. There's another Haas now coming across the line of Steve starting his flying lap. Skeefy is behind him in the Red Bull. So is Storm. Storm there improved on his time actually there by just less than a tenth of a second, but they're not going to improve it enough to move him up any position. So a 33.6 there for Storm. Next car coming across the line. Elite is down in Sector 2. Currently Speedy goes 4th with a 33.3. So Speedy coming in and joining on the party. Here comes Elite in the second to last corner now. This is insane for qualifying right now. Here comes the Racing Point. Here comes the man everyone's talking about in Division 2. Once he goes, let me push on the pole. 33 dead. And it's only 400ths of a second that separate both him and Mike. Boots has done his time. He will be setting another. Shoof has set a purple Sector 2, but he's a 10th down, so the game's lying to us as it always does. Skeefy's on the straight at this current moment in time. Who will be the next to come across the line? Christoph is in the roundabout section. Sissy Rose is on the straight. M2 is in Sector 3 currently. Let's see what M2 is going to do. He's in 19th with a 34.7. Let's see what he's able to do here. Into the second to last corner. Up into third. Then up into fourth. How does he deal with the final corner? That looks really nice actually. DRS is open and he goes 17th with a 34.6. And now there is Brent coming around the final corner. DRS enabled. Where's Brent going to put himself? He puts himself 5th with a 33.3. The Haas now of Steve. He's in 9th with a 33.6. Does he improve? He doesn't improve. 3 tenths down on that time. Here comes Skeefy. Currently in 11th with a 33.7. Goes 7th with a 33.4. And this qualifying session is so tight right now.
Oh, it's come alive, hasn't it? I mean, look at the change we've just seen in Elite. I mean, it's by thinner than the width of a paper, but he was not going to be denied. It was balls to the walls as he was pushing every single corner. And yeah, I mean, just look at the gaps. I mean, 20th place is 1.9 seconds off pole. I mean, that's such a close grid. When you go back to just what I was saying before with the top 10, 6 tenths of a second now separate the top well, top 11. That is absolutely berserk.
Absolutely insane from Division 2, as they always like to prove something on the weekend for qualifying, and that is going to wrap qualifying up. An elite, good sir, you are on pole position, followed by Mike in second, who put a very good lap time in himself, getting beaten by 0.04 of a second between Mike and Elite, and Boots wrapping up that final top 3 place. And what a qualifying session that was, massive.
I'm going to take a breath after that. That was, yeah. I mean, again, I said it earlier. We say it every time Division 2 come out onto the track. I mean, it's just so tight and so close, and the qualifying's almost as entertaining as the race. I mean, like Dina, who's been up there with Elite for the last couple of races, is only 7/10 off him and down in 12th. Ireland, our champion from last season, in 14th. That's how close this grid is at the moment. It's just insane.
Yeah, definitely. So it follows behind Boots in 4th, it's BC Legends, Brent in 5th, Speedy in 6th, Skeefy in 7th, Cycle Swish in 8th, Shoof in 9th, and Steve in 10th place, wrapping up that top 10. So if anybody started outside the top 10, Massey, do you think the alternate strategy could be in play here?
I think Storm's in quite a good position here. Starting in 11th, you can get a fresh set of tyres. Potentially start on the mediums. I mean, I can't think how good the tyre wear is. I'm terrible with tyre wear here, but if he can get those mediums a fairly long way, or maybe even start on the hards and finish on the softs. Yeah, the world is his oyster now, and I think he's in quite a good position, Storm. Whereas the top 10 are all going to be starting on used soft tyres around a track where grip disappears pretty quickly.
Yeah, and as I've just seen from a message from Storm, it does include swear words, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll just say the first letter, you'll all know what it is. As always, I just effed my quali up. So, as you can all tell what that word is, I'm not going to say what the word is, because otherwise I could be in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble. But I think we all know what that word is, and Storm, once again, just proving on the qualifying sessions, he's just struggling a bit, but his race pace is phenomenal. I can't say that word. That is awful. That was atrocious from me.
Well, I can't be blamed this time, Storm. I didn't watch your lap this time, so it's not my fault. No more jinxing from this side.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, we've got a very close grid here. I didn't read outside of the top 10, but we'll see what they're going for. So, Storm is outside the top 10. It is as follows, and these guys have gone for the mediums too. So, Storm, Dino, Christoph, and Island, Anthem, Sissy Bros. Reckless has gone for the softs in 17th. M2, Ramos, and Jezza, the rest on mediums. No, Jezza now goes for the hards, in fact. So, one person on softs, one person on hards, 8 drivers on the medium compound tyres. So very, very interesting to see there that the most of them are going for an alternate strategy.
Yeah, I mean, safety cars can play a big part, and for Jed to start on the hards, if there's an early safety car, he's going to find himself ahead of quite a few of those soft runners, because I imagine they'll be pitting to get rid of those red tyres. Yeah, I think for Jed's strategy to work, he's going to be hoping for possibly an early-ish safety car to get some track position. And then he's just got to keep it clean from there, which is, around this track, a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know what to expect here, because we saw in qualifying how much the traction zones, how there is no grip on this track for the drivers. And we talked about this in qualifying, and before qualifying even started, how much this is going to throw up for the drivers. And we look at it now, with people going on the mediums and the hards, and it's the start of the race and all this stuff. How many incidents could we see? Could we see an early safety car, even on lap 1 here in Division 2?
I mean, it's more than likely, I would say, on this track. I mean, this turn 1, it's so tight, and then it goes into that horrible sort of roundabout right-hander into the chicane, and it draws you in to think you can go in side by side, and then it just tightens up, and there just isn't room for cars to go 2 or 3 abreast as you come onto the exit. And yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if there isn't a bit of contact. I mean, these guys are some of the top guys in ERN, so they'll be a little bit cleaner than, say, our lower divisions, because they've got the skills that me and you don't possess.
Was that a shot at me, sir? I feel insulted.
It's a shot at me and you. I could never
Yes, that
possess
is
the
true.
skills of
Division
these
3 and
guys.
4, ladies and gentlemen. Division 3 and 4. I mean, let's bring it on to this, though, Massey. How are you feeling? Because obviously it is your race tomorrow here in Hanoi. I heard you had a bit of trouble with your pedals, but that has now been resolved. You were racing on pad, I heard, yesterday, which didn't go well as far as I know. I know you finished the race, but not well on your standards. How are you feeling for tomorrow?
Yeah, I learned a whole new respect for pad races. I don't know how you guys steer. But yeah, for me, for my race, I'm not looking forward to this track. It's easily the worst track that's been designed, not just because of the grip, but just the way it's been designed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, you've got to be so silky smooth, and I'm just not a silky smooth driver. I need proper racetracks with a bit of runoff. France.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I went from pad to wheel, pad on this track for me because I've got Division 4 on Wednesday. That's what put me in Division 4, switching to wheel. But I am getting a lot quicker, Massey, as you would be pleased to hear. I can't wait to come battle you again, certainly. That's one thing I'm aiming for is you, to be perfectly honest with you. I want to be back side by side with you. But I'm liking the track, to be perfectly honest with you. The main objective with this track is keeping it out of the barrier. If you keep it out the barrier, you are always going to be in a very, very good position on this track.
Yeah, definitely. It's there's quite a few street circuits that we have. Some that are a bit easier than others. The likes of obviously Australia and Montreal, which are more sort of traditional race circuits type street circuits, but when you go to places like Singapore, Baku, Monaco, and Vietnam, it's all about getting that rhythm. It's all about being smooth, avoiding the wall at all costs, and you've got to be so precise.
Can we not mention Baku Division 3? Can we not mention that one? That was a hell-infested wet weather race.
Yeah, that was horrific.
me maybe wiping out Big G accidentally because I couldn't get the traction. Me also spinning under the safety car. You know what? I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just going to be quite crowding, bottling another win.
He's in the chat as well.
I know he is. That's why I've said it, to be perfectly honest with you. But Baku is doable. Compared to Monaco and Singapore and this track, you've got, like you say, Australia and Canada and Baku. Baku, I think, is one of the most easier of the tough street circuit tracks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like I said, there's a couple of corners as you get to the castle and then that left-hander in the final sector, but apart from that, it's mainly 90-degree corners, so you just got to position your car right. Not like this one where there's so many different kind of corners, a lack of grip, silly roundabouts that you shouldn't be on racetracks.
Yeah, certainly so, as the guys get us underway for the formation lap, and we are moments away from lights out here in Hanoi, and I am very much looking forward to this. Now, while the formation lap is going on, Massey, shall we do our predictions? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm having a very, very tough decision on making this.
I'm liking the look of Mike, I know quite a few people will probably think with what we've seen so far an Elite's pace, but then we've seen Elite with some strategy calls that have dropped him back. He's had to fight through, and this might be a tougher track to do that. I'm liking the look of Mike at the moment. I think I'm going to go Mike, Elite, Storm. I just think Storm starting P11 on those mediums, due some luck. Yeah, I'm going to go with Mike, Elite, and I think Storm as my wild card to reach the podium from P11.
Mike, Elite, and Storm. Very interesting predictions, actually. Very, very interesting predictions. I think, I'm going to go Elite, because if he gets through turn 1 okay, I think he can certainly just take it and go for it. We saw a dominant display in Bahrain, as we saw just winning by, 500ths of a second, something like that, due to a penalty. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here. Second, I'm going to go for Boots. And third, I am going to go for Speedy, because that lap is probably one of the best laps we've seen from Speedy so far in Division 2, and makes me feel like he certainly likes this track, or can maybe cook up a storm here at this track.
Yeah, fair point. As Finn says, stop jinxing him. I think we know what's going to happen with Speedy now. You know not to mention him.
Speedy in the barrier, in the barrier is Speedy. You know what? If he crashes in the S's, we'll call it the Speedy S's.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing to have a corner named after him in ERN.
No, definitely not.
Is it worth it?
If this happens now, I am going to get a certain bollocking.
Yeah, you'll be
I'm going
hunted.
to get a phone call. Yes, exactly. I'm going to get a phone call of Speedy saying, "Why did you do this? Why? Why me?" But ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away as the rest of the guys are lining up there. There is Jezza in the Williams. We've got Elite and Mike on the front row. AlphaTauri versus Racing Point. Boots and Beastie Legends. Brent and Speedy sat behind them along with Skeefy. This is certainly going to be a battle for the ages as we are getting ready to go here in Hanoi as the lights are going to begin their sequence. We're here for European Race Night Division 2 and we are live and it is lights out and away we go. And let's see what happens here as the storm has glitched, but here we go as Elite looks like he's got a very decent run there into turn 1. Mike behind him, Boots staying in third, also Speedy gaining places. He moves up into 4th after turn 1. That is absolutely fantastic start from him. Beastie Legends, a ghosted car, unfortunately. A lot of ghosted cars actually out there. And there is a spinner further back. And that is going to be Sissy Rosa. There was a yellow flag back there. He has dropped some places. There was a lot, Massey, of ghosted cars here as Skeefy now gets past PCT Legends also through his ghosted car.
Yeah, it didn't look like Mike got away too well, so Elite obviously got into turn 1 first, so we're going to see now if he can run and hide. My entire timing screen is completely glitched, as have the tyres. So I can't really tell you much as to what I think is going on, but it looked like Mike didn't get off the line very well.
Just looking here on board with Shoof and a little bit of a train here with Steve right behind him. Could there be a move made here? Mike is also catching up on Elite, but a move could be made here into the hairpin by somebody as that is Storm defending there hard from Christoph. Jezza and M2, them two are side by side and there's end plate damage there on M2. Ramos might have been involved in that too because he's lost the place there to NRC Island and I think that was M2 and that's a Williams now with wing damage and that is of Jezza with his front left end plate. Both Williams have end plate damage.
I did see them very close together on the exit of the hairpin. I wonder if there's been contact between the two Williams boys. That would be not a good conversation if they're in the same party together, I imagine. But yeah, they were close on the exit of that hairpin.
Ooh, and that's Jezza and M2, and that is contact. And Jezza has been spun round there and goes straight into the pit. And now, as we start the third lap, DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, that obviously I didn't see the build up to that, but that ruins Jezza's strategy. He needed to be on the back of everyone still for an early safety car. Yeah, it's a real shame for Jezza. He's had some rotten luck in the first 2 races and it's not got any better today.
Yeah, certainly, and it's just unfortunate for him. And I'm just looking up the field here. Elite still holding the lead at this current moment in time, but a 7/10 gap to him and Mike. And Boots is right on the back of Mike. Also, a 1.8 second gap now dropped to Speedy, and Speedy has a big queue behind him of Brent Cycle Swish, and he could be under some serious threat here from Brent. DRS is enabled, but Brent doesn't have it. He's going to go around the outside here into the hairpin as they go side by side. Speedy on the inside line. Brent gives him the space, gets onto the curb. Here comes the acceleration zone. Speedy looks nice and has managed to keep hold of that position. A really nice defense there from Skeefy, but Brent goes to the inside. I think that was a bit of a lunge and unfortunately just wasted an opportunity, and that drops him down into 11th place, and Speedy there loses a place to Cycle Swish due to that. And Speedy now under pressure here from Skeefy, and Skeefy is going to look to take advantage of this as he's going to send it down the inside of turn. The second to last turn, should I say. And there is a virtual safety car. That's Dino out in the S's by the looks of it. And yes, it is just before the pit lane there. His car is there, bashed and broken. And M2 into the pits under this virtual safety car.
I'm trying to think what he's done there, unless he's been side by side with somebody. That's or he's been trying to get to the pits and he's not gone the right way into them. Yeah, I can't think how he's lost it there. I can only think he's been side by side with someone, maybe.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, one thing that I can mention here, Massey, we went a virtual safety car with no drive-through penalties so far this week. We got 6 on the first one last week in Bahrain, and this week we have none. So that's definitely improvement here for Division 2.
Yeah, we can celebrate. What I was about to say, it's so important for Mike to stay in Elite's DRS. He didn't get a very good exit around the roundabout, and he's dropped out of that DRS. Elite now has the 1 second gap he will have been craving as DRS is activated.
Currently looking on board with Steve. He's in the slipstream of Shoof. They both got DRS. Is he going to send it down the inside? He looks like he wants to send it down the inside. He goes into the hairpin. Shoof leaves him a little bit of space there, and Shoof is on the exit here. They're side by side now, heading towards the end of Sector 2, and it looks like Shoof has managed to stay ahead on that occasion, but Anthem and Christoph, them two are battling further back. Mercedes versus Ferrari, and Anthem is going to have to wait for another opportunity to arise.
Yeah, Boots needs to get past Mike quickly. It looks like he's got more race pace at this stage if anyone's going to challenge Elite, because Mike is falling back. Not sure if he's got damage or not, but he seems to be falling back quite quickly now from Elite.
Yeah, Beastie Legend's the first man to come into the pits quite early. I imagine he has wing damage. I'm just going to stay on board with him here quickly as Sister Bros picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple ones, and it is a wing damage for Beastie Legend, so he comes into the pits. He was another man up there in that mid-pack who could really throw up a storm here to get a podium place, and that may have just been taken away from him if there isn't a safety car.
Yeah, it's, as you said before, this track lights, one mistake, one little flick of oversteer, and it's a front wing end plate, and around this kind of track, that is just not what you want.
Nope, certainly not. I'm just currently on board here with Boots, and Mike could be under some serious threat. He does have both end plates, so there isn't any damage to that car. Boots now has the slipstream, has DRS, and is going to look to take advantage of this and maybe get P2 here as they now storm towards the hairpin. Boots on the inside, and he gets that move done. Oh, there's a switchback. Oh, I thought Mike was going to resend that up the inside, but backs out of it, and Boots takes second place.
So crucial, Boots. He needed that spot because Elite was beginning to run away.
Island of Brent, Island down the inside. Brent's going to go around the outside here. McLaren versus Renault. Brent keeps that. Oh, gets a little bit squirrely there on the exit. And it looks like NRC Island moves up into 13th place.
Yeah, good batting there from Island.
Sorry to cut you off there, Massey, by the way.
No, it's fine. All I was going to say is that it looks like Elite was going to run and hide, and maybe Mike's car was set up more for qualifying than it was for the race, because it was definitely not as close on race pace as Elite started to streak away. And be interesting to see what Boots can do about the lead Elite has the lead that Elite has built up.
Ooh, that was the Mercedes there of Anthem going side by side here with Reckless. Anthem down the inside, Reckless around the outside. This is going to be close between the two, a little bit of contact there on their wheels. And that is Reckless going to stay ahead here in 11th place. So very nice defending there from Reckless, just keeping the mighty Anthem at bay. A very good person when it comes to race racing qualifying, but we just haven't seen that sparkle that we saw last season from Anthem this season.
Yeah, I think obviously he came very close in Bahrain, too close for Elite's comfort, but yeah, it's not quite gone to plan for him today. I think his start, obviously there was a bit of contact early on at the start for him, but yeah, he'll be looking to try and make up some ground.
Yeah, and we might have a couple of battles here. Here is Reckless and Christoph. Christoph going on the outside line, Reckless down the inside. McLaren versus Ferrari. There's a Mercedes going to look forward. The Mercedes of Anthem centered up the inside of Christoph, and he's looking to try and take advantage of this battle, but comes off worse and might be under threat from NRC Island. He is going to be under threat from NRC Island. NRC Island now going down the inside, touches the back of the Ferrari and spins round, loses both end plates, and that is certain damage there for NRC Island, and a big shame for our current Division 2 champion.
Yeah, it's not gone his way today. He looks like he just got a little bit late on the brakes, but of course there's nowhere else for him to go at that point. Once you're late there, it's you're going straight on.
Yeah, Brent picking up a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits as he came into the pits there. Skeefy and Steven Schoof are all over the back currently of Speedy, and there's a 6.6 second gap to Mike in third. So really, Speedy is holding this train up massively right now.
Yeah, he's doing a great defensive job because, of course, the guys behind him will have DRS. Although it looks like Skippy might have a run on him now.
Might have a run on him, but doesn't go for it. Steve is another one who will be looking at this. Could we see a double overtake here on Speedy? This could be critical now for Speedy. Speedy needs to get that power out. Oh, there goes Skeefy! Skeefy has gone. He's trying to get the power down, coming out of the roundabout, down the straight. He has lost it, put it into the wall as his teammate there passes him. And that is a big, big shame for him, losing his front right wing. And that is not going to be nice there. There is Anthem and Christoph. Them two battling. Anthem moving up into 10th, but a huge blow for Skeefy and the Red Bull.
Yeah, I mean, it's not come at the worst time. I mean, he managed to keep it in a point in the right direction. He probably wasn't far off hitting if he is planning to two-stop. So, but yeah, rotten luck. We've said it quite a few times already. This track bites.
And nearly just bit Christoph. Christoph nearly had a big, big issue there. Reckless overtaking Skeefy in the S's. That's brave of him. But that was Christoph nearly getting bit by the S's. Oh, Skeefy gets coming straight across Christoph's line. I mean, he can't really do much about it. His wing is damaged. I imagine that car was horrible to drive through the S's there.
Yeah, can't have been good. Up at the front, Elite has completely checked out now. So Boots had the pace to get past Mike, but it would seem on race pace, no one is quite matching Elite at this particular stage of the race.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I'm currently looking at Steve, who was behind Skeefy when Skeefy lost it. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get a camera angle of that. And maybe a recording maybe get sent into the Discord. That'd be interesting to see of what happened. I think he just got initial application of the power and it just lost the back end. I've done that many times myself in league races. It's not a nice feeling, but we'll see how he can do on his recovery drive. But Steve is here now on the back of Speedy. He's got Slipstream enabled. He's now going to have DRS enabled. This is going to be interesting. Speedy moves over to the left-hand side. He forces himself down the left-hand side to Steve. Speedy wants it back, though. He's going to go down the inside of Steve, and he's going to try and challenge this back. But that is clean, and a beautiful move there from Steve. Now, they're going to try and go side-by-side here. Alfa Romeo versus Haas. Two Ferrari-powered cars, and the Haas stays ahead. And beautiful racing from both of them with that clean overtake.
That was brilliant. There was the width of a Formula 1 car and nothing more, and he stuck it up the inside of the long straight, made it stick at the hairpin. Yeah, great racing from Division 2 again.
Yeah, Skeefy making a place there on his recovery drive. Speedy comes into the pits and Steve doesn't, so maybe Speedy just trying to do maybe a little bit of an undercut there. He's lost the position. If he gets the undercut and gets that initial application on his outlap, he could really close that gap.
One thing I will say is I mentioned earlier about Storm being in the box seat. On those medium tyres, P4 less than 2 seconds behind Steve now.
Yeah, definitely so. The softs are fading and fading quickly as Mike is trying to get past Ramos as he makes his way back through the field. Elite yet to pit so far, so Mike is really trying to do an undercut as he comes now to go past Ramos and maybe get this move easily done, and he does. Ramos tucks behind and gets that move done. But he's really going to try now, Mike, to get that gap closed and maybe get that undercut available for him as he's now right behind Christoph. And Christoph is going to have some pressure from him here. And he's burned a lot of ERS as Mike trying to get back through this field by the looks of it.
Yeah, I've just noticed as well that speed went onto the hard tyres, so he's obviously looking at the one-stop option. Good for track position. From personal experience, it's not the quickest way of doing the track.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he knows. Maybe he's had practice with those hard compound tyres. Maybe he feels perfect on those hard compound tyres. We never know. We don't know until we know at the end. And it'll be interesting to see what he can do on those hards. The only man, actually, apart from Sissy Bros, to pick the hard compound tyres. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do anything on those hards.
Yeah, just watching Ramos right on Christoph's gearbox, almost coming together. That looks like your next closest battle now.
Yeah, and Storm overtakes Steve. Steve comes into the pits. We'll be keeping an eye there on Speedy to see if he's done the undercut. As you say, Ramos right on the back of Christoph. Christoph just didn't look like he was happy going through the S's there. The car just looked very, very unstable on that occasion of from on board with Ramos. As I'm just looking at Speedy here on the hard compound tyres, does he undercut? Who was it? It was Steve who did it. Steve is currently on the exit now, and I think Steve has stayed ahead here on those medium compound tyres and stays ahead of BCC Legends too. So that has worked beautifully there for Steve as Mike is trying to get past Anthem further up ahead.
Yeah, and I've just seen some other cars come out of the pits. That pit exit, that is a horribly designed pit exit because you come straight out onto the racing line. I'm surprised there hasn't been more accidents in league racing. I mean, it probably has been, but it's a horribly designed pit exit.
Yeah, definitely so with Speedy and Brent. These two side by side. Speedy going around the outside and then has the inside line heading into the roundabout. He gets that move done. Mike further up ahead has that move done there on Anthem and Christoph and Ramos. These two battling, and Ramos moves up into 6th place. So battles up and down the field here as Reckless, Brent are all both catching good Speedy here, and Reckless is going to go side by side with Brent, and this is DRS, both of them having it. They're going to be going storming into the hairpin. McLaren on the inside line, Renault on the outside line. The Renault trying to switch back, maybe tried it, but the car was parked perfectly there by the Renault, and that keeps Brent up into 13th place.
Yeah, nice move by Reckless.
Island nearly losing it on the curb in the hairpin, nearly sending him straight into the barrier. Managed to recuperate it though, and moves and keeps on the track, should I say, sorry, and stays in 16th place.
Yeah, that's that curb you mentioned about. It's that big curb that once you get onto that curb, all your traction goes and potentially spits you into the opposite wall.
Yeah, certainly so. As Boots is on the exit now for his medium compound tyres, and he looks like he's going to come back out in 10th place, right? No, it goes back out in 8th, should I say. Overtakes Steve on the exit, so that's critical for Boots also not to be held up there by Steve, and now can go attack Cycle Swish up ahead.
I've just noticed as well that Elite is still not pitted on 9-lap-old softs, and still keeping the gap to Storm. That is one hell of a drive.
Yeah, 100%. He's really doing well there. Storm 17 seconds behind. Everybody else has pitted apart from the medium runners with 9 laps on their times. And let's just have a look here because we've got Boots now approaching Cycle Swish with Steve behind him. Both will have DRS here, and I think Boots might be able to get this move done, but I don't think Steve will be able to close up in time, and I don't think Boots actually might get an opportunity here on Swish. Is he going to send it? He is going to make a late dive, locks up on the front left, and gets no the traction zone, nearly spinning around. This is going to give Steve a little bit of interest here in the Haas. Is he going to be able to make it into this corner? And I think Boots has that one covered and recuperated in time.
Yeah, I didn't see that until late, but it looked a little bit late. Maybe thought the gap with the door was going to stay open. But yeah, you're going to have to be a bit more elbowsy to make that move stick.
Elite is still out there. Can we just go, like, and he's building the gap to Storm. Storm had 17.5 seconds. It's now 18.2, and he is still out there on 10-lap-old softs.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing out to Mike, but yeah, he's pulling that gap to Storm. I mean,
is he trying to do a one-stop?
I mean, is he going to do soft medium? I mean, can you do soft medium around here? Can you start?
I'd imagine it would be soft hard. I imagine it would be a soft hard, but if he's genuinely trying to do that, then that is going to be very interesting because this circuit is a 2-stop circuit, really.
I mean, he's done the opposite to the strategies we thought he'd do in both the first 2 races. Maybe he's trying to keep us guessing.
He just likes to confuse us. He likes to make our job difficult. I bet he sits there watching it, laughing afterwards, and like, you didn't expect that, did you?
These idiots talking about me.
Here comes Boots. He's looking to get Cycle Swish boxed off and done. Overtake and DRS enabled. He's in the slipstream. He's going to look down the inside. Can he get it done this time? Sissy Bros for tyres in the pits. He goes around the inside. The racing point gets shoved. Oh! He's on that curb and he spins and he collects the Haas of Cycle Swish, and that's a reset to track there from Steve. And Cycle Swish and Steve, them two there, having a world of trouble with each other, and that clears Speedy.
Doing a 17-point turn in one of the most difficult cars to try and turn.
I mean, he's got the wing damage, to be fair, so you want to keep that wing as clean as possible. He can just keep on going to race now and get a little bit of a recovery drive on the way. He doesn't have to pit which is good for him as Steve does now come into the pit. So a big shame there, and an incident which I think could have been less costly, all starting by the overtake from Boots.
Yeah, I said before that he might need to get a bit more elbowsy. That was elbows and knees. It looked like a fair overtake. He squeezed him a little bit wide on the curb, but then obviously, yeah, got that power down on that horrific sausage
and
curb.
And during all that, Elite has now pitted, and Mike is now on the back of him by 7/10, and Storm is on the back of Mike, so Storm is in a nice place also at this current moment in time. What could really work for Storm right now is a safety car.
Yeah, so that's just showed the kind of pace and the stint Elite did, that he's managed to stay on the softs for 10-11 laps and still come out ahead of Mike. That is incredible. It was close in qualifying, it ain't close in the race.
Yeah, certainly so. Cycle Swish here on M2. M2 on the inside line in the Ferrari. Cycle Swish in the racing point. He's going to go around the outside here. He doesn't go around the outside. Backs out of that move. And maybe a smart and a wise choice there. Just looking on board with Reckless on Speedy. Speedy staying ahead. At this moment, Reckless did he go straight into the back of Speedy there as he released his brakes into the corner. Cycle Swish is going to try and make another move here on M2. Cycle Swish in the racing point, going down the inside line, and he's got that move done before the hairpin and moves himself up into 14th place.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to make moves quickly. I'm surprised we're on lap 13, around one of the toughest circuits on the calendar, and we've not seen a safety car. I don't even think, apart from that first lap, I don't even think we've had another VSC yet. It's been, some really good driving from Division 2, as we would expect.
Yep, certainly so. Skeefy currently down there in 12th place. He's now 5/10 behind Brent in the Renault, and he'll be looking to try and close that gap too after his mishap, after losing the car and putting it into the barrier. A big shame for him. Had to come in for a new wing. So that would put him, I mean, like we say, he was around his pit stop strategy anyways. Anthem comes back out on fresh hards, and he's in 8th place there. So Anthem could be another dark horse to come in the latter stages of this race too. Yeah,
definitely. I'm still thinking now that, looking at Storm's strategy, I'm just wondering what his next plan is going to be. Does he stretch it and finish on the softs, or is he going to pit for some hards, for some fresh rubber, because he's beginning to lose a little bit of time now to Boots?
I imagine it would be the hards. I can't see the softs lasting 15 laps. If he pits on lap 15, I don't think those even last 12 laps. I mean, it's rare that they even lasted 10 laps under Elite, which is insane. As here comes Skeefy on Brent. Skeefy going down the inside. He's going to get that move done way before the hairpin. And AMG, Reckless and Speedy, these two battling Speedy, and a lot of battles today as he nearly loses it, as he applies overtake, as they head now towards, a little switching and moving. And there is Speedy staying in 6th place as Elite takes fastest lap. I've seen some really good defending so far from Speedy.
Speedy's just
as he's in the barrier. And he's in the Speedy S's, as it's now going to be called, as I've jinxed him before the formation lap. The Speedy S's, ladies and gentlemen, has been christened by the man himself.
Oh, Speedy, 0800 DAIM, call in afterwards. We'll have your thoughts on the jinx.
He stayed out there, and he got front left end plate damage off that also, so he's staying out there on those hardcore power tyres. That is not going to be nice, and I don't want to be you for the Speedy S's, Speedy.
No, I can only think maybe he's hoping for a safety car. Yeah, because hard tyres, missing an entire end plate, that ain't going to be the most comfortable car to drive.
No, definitely not. As Skeefy is really gaining on him here, and now will be getting held up because Brent, who he's just overtaken, is right behind him now, and Speedy will be looking to look how the speed difference going through the roundabout. Speedy just can't get any rotation whatsoever. This should be an easy move here for Skeefy, but Speedy might have a blessing here because he does have DRS off Anthem ahead, and Skeefy's going to come alongside him now, both of them with DRS, but I think Speedy has got that move. Skeefy has got that move done. Is Speedy going to send it back up the inside? He is going to send it back up the inside, and there's contact once again. And there goes Skeefy, getting on the curb, nearly losing the rear end. But Speedy stays ahead there, and maybe, definitely not going to pit. Otherwise, I imagine he wouldn't have defended like that.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stick it out there then. Like you said, I don't think he'd have defended it quite as hard if he was pitting. We're about to find out. He's a couple of corners away from the pits.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, look at the difference between Skeefy and Speedy going through the S's. Speedy does stay out, so he is committing a mistake. Skeefy sends it up the inside, and there's contact between the two, and both of them having a little bit of a wobble on the exit there. This is getting a little bit dangerous. Maybe a bit of an impatience growing here from Skeefy, and maybe just a little bit of a bit of dangerous driving, maybe also from Speedy, as Skeefy goes down the inside of Speedy, and they're both desperate to keep the position of 8th place while the drivers behind them are starting to stack up. Between Brent, Ramos is now involved, Christoph involved, and NRC Island now involved behind this. Skeefy needs to clear it. I think he knows he needs to clear it. Here comes Anthem on Reckless. He doesn't go for that one. Does Skeefy go for this one on Speedy? I don't like how they both got S's. It's really throwing me off as NLC Island and Christoph further back. Christoph on the inside line. Island trying to make an overtake there, and Christoph stays in 13th place.
Yeah, Skeefy's going to need to get this move done now. He can't afford to be stuck behind the broken car of Speedy, because Brent is going to be hunting him down as well, and Ramos, like you said. And Christoph is not far behind this battle either.
And there is Skeefy. He moves up into 9th place with a nice move. NRC Island and Christoph Island on the inside line. He moves up into that position. Reckless and Anthem, these two side by side with each other. Reckless around the outside, and Shoes picking up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings, and that was Skeefy I just saw sliding into sector 3 there, so maybe he's losing a bit of rear end grip also. And there's a yellow flag, and that is an Alpha Tauri of Shoes backwards down the straight as he tries to get the car turned around. Definitely wing damage for him there, and that is not a good race for him today.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably done similarly to what Skeefy did, but wasn't able to keep it pointing in the right way. Unfortunately for him, but he's going to have Jezza bearing down on him now.
Yeah, definitely so. Anthem is all over the back of Reckless, still Reckless. Just the understeer that some of these drivers are getting here, going through the roundabouts, is insane, as Anthem gets a very, very nice exit actually out of that roundabout, and he's going to be looking to take this to Reckless. Reckless using a bit of VRS there. Let's see what's going to happen here. Reckless needs to just have a really nice setup there to just glide through the straight and not worry about ERS as much.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, where did Reckless start? Because that's been quite an impressive climb up the field, if I'm not
Ramos
mistaken.
Up the inside of Brent, sorry, through the roundabout. Ramos up the inside of Brent, that was very clean from the both, and Brent came off very nicely there with a good held round the outside, and that's a yellow flag and Shoot retiring in the pits. And Ramos now is going to look to get Brent here, overtaking DRS enabled. These two storming towards the hairpin. We've also got NRC Island on the back of this. You might want to go in, get involved. He went to look to go down the inside. Ramos goes down the inside though, gets the move done on Brent. Brent gets out on the curb, keeps it in check. Is Island going to take advantage of this? Because Island got a good exit. Island is going to take advantage of this. He's going to go down the inside. Let's see who gets late on the brakes. McLaren versus Renault. They're side by side heading into sector 3 through the S's, and there is contact, and that is wing damage for NRC Island. Not too sure for Brent though, and that is a big shame there, and that was dangerous play from both of them to enter there side by side. And yet the Renault pits of Brent, and Island doesn't have wing damage, so it was Brent who got the wing damage, not the McLaren.
Storm has pitted for soft tyres. He needs to get out of the pits ahead of this gaggle of cars. It's going to be so close in the pit exit with the Mercedes.
And he gets ahead of Anthem, and now he's in 5th. And now he can start to hunt down the cars ahead. There are big gaps there to do in 11 laps. As Speedy and Ramos go side by side. Ramos trying to overtake Speedy here, and Speedy defending with all of his might here in 9th place. And here comes Ramos now with hard compound tyres on, fresh hard compound tyres on. He's going to squeeze into the wall. And Ramos goes round the outside of Speedy and gets that move done, moves up into 9th place. And this is going to give NRC Island all the interest he needs to look and see that Speedy is certainly under pressure here.
It's been some really good defending from Speedy in this race. No one's had an easy pass on him. Great entertainment to watch from Mr. Speedy.
Yeah, certainly so. Even with damage, he's still trying to keep it as clean as he possibly can. Island now has DRS, but I don't think he's going to catch Speedy. Speedy has DRS on Ramos. Is Speedy going to look at Ramos? No, he doesn't. He realises that was Island nearly goes into the back of Speedy. Christoph gaining on this battle too now. He's in 12th place, so we've got a little bit of a train here behind Ramos for 9th place, and Speedy is staying on the back of him. But I think this is where we'll see the time drop through the S's.
Yeah, I'm just looking at both Ramos and Reckless and Anthem. We've said in Division 2 before where they've made up numerous positions by the end, they've made up 9 and 10 positions. So great performance from guys that started lower down.
And that's BCC Legends pit, and that promotes Storm into 4th place. So Storm is looking very, very nice right now, and I imagine some of the guys ahead are going to be pitting for softs again. Storm is looking very nice to take this as Island and Speedy side by side, a little bit of contact between the two. Speedy gets on that curb on the exit of the roundabout of turn 1. Christoph is going to look interested now, seeing Speedy under pressure and just not got the composure with that wing being damaged. Here comes Christoph. DRS now enabled, Speedy defending every single chance he gets here today, and he's put on some great defending display here. He's really showing that defense is everything in Formula 1.
Yeah, it's been entertaining to watch, and he's going to have a go.
He's going to go down the inside of Island.
Sorry.
He's going to go down the inside of Island. Island went a bit wide there. Speedy saw a gap, put his car in it, made it extra hard for Island. Now has the exit here on NRC Island, has the slipstream. He's going to have DRS enabled here. So will the Ferrari of Christoph. This is going to be interesting heading down to the hairpin. Speedy on the inside line, Island on the outside line. Here comes Christoph down the inside of both of them. Speedy stays and switches to the outside. Here comes Christoph on the inside line. NRC Island loses 2 positions there, heading into the hairpin. It was brave, it was beautiful, it was magnificent there from those 3 drivers.
And just like that, Speedy goes from 10th and he's back up to 9th place with a damaged wing, and he's going to be aiming to potentially go to the end of the race while other people still have to pit. This could still be quite an impressive drive from Mr. Speedy with some solid points.
Storm now moves up to 3rd, that's the fastest lap for 37.5 as Mike comes into the pits. So that is interesting to see. Storm is on for a very good result here, touch wood that he doesn't mess up, but he's on for a very good result here as NRC Island is all over the back. This battle here now for 9th place has really heated up, and it is looking fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mike has taken 7/10 of a second out of Storm already since he's come out on those fresh tyres. We know the softs go off quite quickly. That's quite a statement from Mike, immediately hunting down Storm for that final podium position.
Ooh. BC Legends down the inside of NRC Island on those fresh softs. He's gone down the inside. Speedy runs wide. Here goes BC. It wasn't Speedy, sorry, it was Christoph. Runs wide. BC Legends going around the outside of him. Christoph trying to hang it down the inside. Doesn't manage to do it. BC Legends gains 3 places. And this is where BC Legends will be also looking to take control of Speedy's P9. He's now got overtake enabled, using a little bit there. Now has DRS as Reckless as Skeefy are battling further up ahead, but we want to see this. Speedy versus BC Legends, Mercedes versus Alfa Romeo, and the Mercedes stays ahead, but Speedy keeps his nose there as Christoph and NRC Island, them two are passing. This contact there between a few of them, and Speedy is going involved with 2 different cars. There was M plates there. I saw M plates from the Sauber. I think I saw an M plate from the Mercedes. I'm not 100% sure. I've certainly seen one there from the Ferrari, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not too sure what happened there, but that was a big, big shame as Mike is right on the back of Storm here. He's going to go down the inside of Storm here, and he's going to go down the inside into turn 1 as Christoph and Speedy is still battling further back in the S's, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it looked like Speedy and Legends got their wheels just interlocked a little bit, and that unsettled them both, and then, yeah, unfortunately there was a 3rd casualty with wing damage, and Speedy hasn't pitted. He has no front wing. Maybe he's trying out Alpha's new downforce package around Vietnam.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that decision.
Not 100% sure. Storm has just dropped out of that 1 second gap now to Mike, so maybe just not being able to keep up with him as Steve is going to look down the inside of Christoph here. The Haas versus the Ferrari. And he's going down the inside. The Ferrari goes around the outside. The customer car. The Haas is going to look back down the inside by the looks of it. Christoph running a little bit deep. He wants a good exit here from the Haas. And the Haas looks like, nearly getting it all out of shape there between them two as Brent is going down the inside of Speedy. Speedy seriously slow at this current moment in time. Steve is in the slipstream with Christoph. He's going to get this done. He's got DRS here. He's going to head towards the hairpin, and this should be an easy move here for Steve as they head into the braking zone, and he moves up into 9th place.
Yeah, Speedy is getting past left, right and centre now. He's Although he's late on the brake. Oh, Speedy! Yeah, no front
Couldn't
wing.
slow the car down, no front wing. T-bones, I think that was Brent, and that is a big, big shame for Brent being a casualty of that. I'm not too sure what Speedy was doing with the front wing. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, it's his choice. He may have thought he could have done it, but unfortunately, it has proven that he was unable to do so. And Christoph is behind Steve still, trying to keep that gap as NRC Ireland comes into the pits.
Yeah, it looks like he missed his braking point. Obviously, when you've got no front wing, he'll know himself. He's a better driver than I am. But it looks like he's just missed his braking point. And I guess luckily for Brent, it was a side-on impact, and this game does not do side-on damage. So he survived without a scratch.
Yeah, Reckless picking up a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. We've got BC Legends now, who's on the hunt for Ramos, as I've just seen in chat there. Adam, Mr. Speedy apologising there to Brent, saying I couldn't stop. I imagine he will be beating himself up about that one.
Yeah, he was having a really cracking race until he hit the Speedy S's. And
ooh, Ramos weaving down the straight there as BC Legends goes to pass him.
Ooh.
And that puts BC Legends into 6th place.
Just looking at the front two now, 9 laps and 10 laps old tyres. Elite looks like he's got the gap to the soft runners at the moment for his pit stop, but Boots, obviously, I mean, is Boots going to go for the extra 6.5 laps to the end of those tyres, or is he going to need to come in for some soft tyres, because that's going to drop him down?
Yeah, I mean, with Storm and Mike right behind, and Boots could be dropping very, very quickly. I don't know what could happen here in the final stages. Do you pit for softs and go for it completely? I'm not 100% sure on that one, as I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I mean, for Elite, if he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it pretty soon, because his gap to Mike's coming down quite quickly. For Boots, I mean, I guess it depends what his tyre situation is.
Yeah, Skeefy currently on 2-lap old softs all over the back of Christoph on 9-lap old hard. Skeefy currently in 10th place. And he is looking to get this move done as quickly as he possibly can, because he needs to catch up to Steve up ahead, who is 2.7 seconds ahead of Christoph. Here comes Skeefy. He's going to try and get this move done as ASAP and moves into 9th place. A lot of battles for 9th we've seen today, Massey. 9th seems to be the magic number here in Hanoi.
It does. It's been extremely entertaining around that number. Skeefy, a nice recovery drive after he hit the wall early on in the race, back up to 9th on the soft tyre, so he'll be looking to get...
Oh, that's a yellow flag, and that's M2. M2XG has spun it in the first corner there, and I'm certainly surprised we've not seen a safety car currently. It would really spice... It would really spice this up as Psycho Swish looks to get this move done on Reckless. He's looking to go down the inside of the hairpin. He moves down the inside. He doesn't have any end plates, Psycho Swish. He's missing left and right, and he gets that move done and moves into 11th place. But here comes Reckless having a look back, and he doesn't. Backs out of that one as Island and Brent, them two battling, and Island moving up into 13th place.
Yeah, oh, I've just seen, oh, and Swish has gone. We could have our safety car. Swish is in the wall.
Swish has gone.
Could we have the safety car? Surely that's a safety car.
That has to be. I can see where it's parked on the mini-map. That has to be a safety car game. That has to be a safety car.
How?
Wow. Wow.
I'm shocked.
Unbelievable.
I've got no words.
It's gone. The car's clear. How on earth was that not a safety car?
I mean, the Vietnamese are obviously very quick at removing cars.
Well, they're very quick with removing the US, so I imagine they're very good with cars, definitely.
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, his wheel was...
I'm so confused as I just look up ahead. Mike is now on the back of Boots. He's now 7th. Oh, there goes Steve! Steve spins it exactly where Skeefy spun it, right in front of Skeefy, maybe just reminding him what he did. Steve on M2 has also crashed out on the final corner by the looks of it. Was that in the pits there? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think it's in the pits.
Steve has wing damage now too, and tyre wear really coming to effect now on this low grip circuit. A lot of spins and a lot of casualties right now.
Mike all over Boots. Now he's caught him up very quickly on those soft tyres.
Yeah, but as he hits the barrier, and very lucky not to end up with front right end plate damage there. This has been insane from Division 2. 4 laps to go, a lot still to play for here, and a lot to go for. Here comes Mike. Mike has now got overtake and DRS enabled. Boots has a little bit more overtake to gain, and if Boots plays this right, could get this move done back down the straight if he keeps in check, and he has a lot more ERS. He does look like gets a better line into the roundabout, certainly. And let's see how the exit is from Boots. If he could just get to that DRS line. Look at the grip though in the traction zones between Mike and Boots. Boots just unable to get it out as well as he wants it to, but he does now have DRS. He is now going to challenge here. He has it enabled. He's in the slipstream. He's going to look at Mike here. Could this be an opportunity? He's going to go around the outside. AlphaTauri versus Renault. Boots locks up massively, and that may have cost him his chance to stay in second place.
Yeah, good racing from them too. Mike into second, got the fresher tyres. I still can't get over the lack of the safety car.
Unbelievable. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, his wheel was on top of his... was pretty much lying on top of the halo. Codemasters never stops to surprise me.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, here comes the two McLaren boys. Ireland versus Reckless. They're going to go side by side here, heading towards the hairpin. And Ireland moves up into 10th place and gets ahead of his teammate there into 10th. So very nice there from NRC Ireland. And as we can see from the maps, there's quite a few gaps beginning to form now. And we are nearly at the end of the race. And I think that might be all the action we see, unless there's a big incident.
Yeah, I think the closest two on the track, apart from Speedy hunting down Elite being a lap down, is the two McLarens, and we've seen Ireland get past. Yeah, like I said, quite spread out now, so unless there's a sudden charge from someone, this could be how the race finishes.
Yeah, certainly so, but what a race it has been so far for Elite. I mean, he is up there in first place. He's got a nice gap to Mike, a very big gap in fact to Mike on those medium compound tyres. Doing the one stop has clearly worked here for Elite, and he is paid off nicely. Mike, that gap, bigger pit stop. Oh, as he gets a little bit of the curve there, does Mike, and nearly loses it. But Boots is in a very nice position. Storm's in a very nice position. I think Storm right now will be wishing or hoping for one of the top three to have a bit of a moment so he can maybe capitalise on it and fight for a podium place here.
Yeah, I'm just watching him come out some of the corners. It looks like he might be struggling with his rears now, but I have no telemetry for the top four at the moment, so I can't see how close he is to Boots time-wise, but
yeah,
look at the track map,
neither.
He's not close enough.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Boots is certainly staying quite close to Mike, actually. Maybe... See, I mean, he's only 2 seconds behind. If Mike does make a mistake, he will be right on that, and we could see another fight for second place. I mean, Mike will definitely have the tyre advantage with 6-lap old softs compared to 15-lap old mediums. But the way some of these drivers have taken these tyres very long is insane.
Yeah, there's been some really impressive drives out there. I think this has really shown Elite's class. This is one of the toughest tracks on the calendar. And he said it himself, he had some really tough races, and the last race was quite an entertaining interview with him where he was sweating and pushing like mad, and he was probably craving a slightly easy day at the office, and yeah, he's driven faultlessly today. It's been one of the better drives I've seen from an ERN driver this season.
Yeah, BCC Legends is now caught up to the back of his teammate of Anthem, and NRC Ireland has also caught back onto the back of Christoph, and Christoph getting all out of shape there, coming out with the first roundabout, and Ireland is going to move up into 9th place. Once again, 9th place being the centre of attention today, and here come the two Mercedes boys. BCC Legends opts for the outside line. He has DRS. This should be a fairly easy move on Anthem, and he moves up into 5th place as Skiffy is now on the back also of Ramos. He'll be maybe trying to make a last lap move there, saving his ERS and going for it here on the last lap on Ramos.
Yeah, I thought it was over and done with, but now I've got the timings back. There are still a few battles left out on track. yeah, if Skiffy can keep it clean for this final lap, then he should have a run on the final DRS straight.
Ooh, Elite picking up a 3-second time penalty. I mean, that would be crucial if he pitted again, but unfortunately he hasn't. So that could have spiced things up once again, and the 2 racetracks in a row. So that is very, very interesting indeed. Skiffy now all over the back of Ramos, and this could be his time to attack, either this lap or the final lap. Elite is all the way now at the hairpin. He's getting closer and closer to starting his final lap. 25-second lead after doing the 1-stop here, proving how good he is at doing tyre management here.
Yeah, it's mighty impressive. They're heading now, first DRS zone, Skiffy, as close as DRS actually. Maybe I think you're right, he's probably going to wait for that second DRS straight.
Yeah, wait for that second DRS straight, or even wait for the final lap so he can't get re-overtaken is another possibility. But he is on those fresher softs, so we shall see what happens here. But I think this is where he is actually going to make the move, because if he can get away in the S's, if he's being held up by Ramos there, that's where he's not going to be able to get places back. As he now puts overtaken DRS, he is going to go for it, is Skiffy in the slipstream. Overtake DRS, goes for the inside line, heads towards the hairpin. Red Bull versus Haas, and the Red Bull moves up into 7th place. There's a little bit of contact there from Ramos, and Ramos there moves back into 7th place. So a little bit of defending there from Ramos, keeping ahead of Skiffy.
Yeah, he just rode that sausage curb on the exit that you talked about earlier and just completely unsettled the car, and then he had to get out the gas. Of course, we saw what happened to Psycho Swish earlier when he didn't get out the gas and sent him round. That curb is deadly.
Yeah, 100% it is, as Elite now starts the final lap of this race. And I've noticed Boots is flickering between the 1.8 and the 2-second mark of Mike. So that'll be interesting to see. Skiffy's also once again on the back of Ramos. He's got the slipstream. He's going to look down the inside of Ramos here. Oh, he goes deep. Oh. He goes really, really deep. And that's going to cost him. Could be now the wasted opportunity. He's now 1.2 seconds behind Ramos. Won't have DRS in this DRS straight by the looks of it. And that could be the opportunity gone for Skiffy. He's going to use all of his overtake to try and close that gap back up. He has closed that gap back up to a second now. But will it be enough for DRS down the back straight? He has to now give it absolutely everything to take 7th place here. He really needs to get a shift on here. One more straight to go, one more overtaking opportunity to go here. Let's see what's going to happen. He's not going to have DRS, as Elite comes across the line and takes P1 here in Hanoi. Mike is in the speedy S's, and we'll go back to him shortly. Skiffy is not looking like he's going to be able to do it here, and that is a big shame for Skiffy. But we have a further battle going on further back of Reckless and Christoph. We'll come back to that as Mike is coming through the final corner now. He's going to get second here for AlphaTauri, and he picks up 2nd place. Boots got about to come across the line, he gets 3rd, and there's only 4 tenths off Mike at the end there, so Boots was really close. Storm gets 4th. Great drive from him. Beastie Legends in the Mercedes, followed by his teammate of Anthem, will take 5th and 6th. I don't know how many time penalties Anthem have. Will it affect his position here with Ramos? And Ramos under pressure once again from Skiffy. Does Ramos jump in? No, he doesn't. No, Beastie Legends didn't have any penalties and he dropped. I'm confused about that. Anthem didn't drop, but Beastie Legends did. Legends had no penalties.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's a glitch, and we'll probably be seeing a clip in from Legends from that.
Highly likely so.
Good old
Ramos will pick up, and Skiffy cross the line. Island and Reckless, the 2 McLaren boys, finishing off in the last of the points. Christoph, Brent, Jezza and Speedy are the last people there outside of the top 10. Brent, the last man to come across the line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was ERN Division 2 Hanoi here in Vietnam, and what a race it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Entertainment all throughout the field, and we had obviously the super drive from Elite out front. I mean, that was incredible. The way he took the soft tyres so long, perfect performance from Elite. Then we had, of course, the 9th place battles from about 7 different drivers at one point. Entertainment throughout, great battling. Once again, Division 2, you have delivered.
A fantastic race And that is Elite on the top step of the podium with the Racing Point team boss, I'm going to say, with him alongside. I mean, a fantastic drive from Elite with the one-stop strategy, and the top 3 places of Elite, Mike and Boots. Boots getting another podium. A fantastic drive from him, also third to third. Another drive. Look at those 3 drivers. Ramos from 19th to 6th. And from 15th to 5th, and Storm 11th to 4th. Fantastic drives from them. Ski Free in 7th, Beastie Legends 8th, but I imagine that will be fixed. NRC Island in 9th, and in the last of the points is Reckless. The 2 McLaren boys taking those as follows outside of the top 10 of Christoph, Brent, Jezza, Speedy, and then the DNFs of Steve, M2, Cycle Swish, Shoof, Sissy Rose, and Dino there. And a very, very interesting race, and a very good race that we got to see here for Division 2.
Yep, again.
Massey.
Sorry, go on.
Who is your driver today? That sounded really rude, but as I said your name there, I do apologise.
I mean, I could say the likes of Ramos, who went from 19th to 6th, but then I'd be ignoring arguably one of the drives of the season from Elite, who was just on point today. So I think I'd have to share it with Elite and Ramos, because Ramos, brilliant drive to get all the way from the back of the grid up into 6th, and Elite just been absolutely stunning performance and didn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable race. Unfortunately, I know this. I haven't mentioned this to you, Massey, and I apologise. I don't have time for an interview. I literally have to go, otherwise I'm going to get slapped across the face by the missus. So I'm going to have to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologise. We'll be back next week for China here in European Race Night. We're back for Division 3 and Division 4 on Tuesday and Wednesday tomorrow, and the day after at 7:30 both times for them. So come join us for that one. Massey will be in Division 3, I will be in Division 4, and I'm looking forward to see the action of those 2 divisions after Division 2. I've been Dame Zero, your lead commentator, alongside me, Mr. ERN Massey.
Yeah, cheers everyone for watching.
Indeed, we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all tomorrow for Division 3. Bye bye.